Neo-Nazi gangs gathering in secret basements under dark flags whisper your name. These dirty minds plot to extinguish your light, whose vibration they fear. While they open maps and look for direction with the compass of hatred, your presence, alone, strikes like lightning in the center of their darkness. Shake up now and remember. Your frequency is the antidote, your breath the chain-breaking force. Gird your will of steel. Write 99 in the comments because the plan of the shadows is about to collapse. They are ready to be blinded by your light. While they scrambled to construct stories to cover their own fears, you remained unshaken in your purpose. They tried to rewrite the narrative, to cloud your potential with distractions and falsehoods. But every move they made, every attempt to deceive, failed to disrupt the path that had been set before you. Their false assertions crumble like dry leaves in a storm. They invested everything into seeing you falter, but each effort only propelled you further into alignment with your divine purpose. The universe has not abandoned you in this. It's as though the very ground beneath their feet has been eroded, and every wall they build to contain you is met with the force of unseen hands tearing it down. Their control is slipping away, and they know it. They tried to contain your light, but the brilliance they feared is now evident for all to see. The universe is on your side, pushing them to the edge of their illusion. They always knew, deep down, that something within you couldn't be silenced. Your spirit, like a flame, cannot be extinguished by the winds of doubt. They thought they could smother it, trap you in their world of illusion. But your essence is fire, and fire always rises. Their attacks were never about simple envy or frustration. They were desperate attempts to cage a power they couldn't understand. The higher frequencies you operate on are beyond their comprehension. They tried to label your gifts as weaknesses, but it is those very gifts that expose the cracks in their fabricated world. They know your power is something they can't control, and that terrifies them. Every attempt to limit your growth, every effort to block your opportunities, has only served to uncover their weakness. What they didn't realize is that they were setting the stage for your ascension. Each step they took to obstruct you was the very thing that activated your divine blueprint. You've been equipped with a radar for deceit, and their falsehoods don't even make it past the threshold of your awareness. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but the souls of many through this platform. Each of you has a sacred place in God's grand design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Act now. Share your blessings to glorify His kingdom, for you were created to do even greater things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. Their lies couldn't touch you because they were never meant to. Your purpose was destined to transcend their manipulation, and now they're seeing it. They miscalculated, and in their frustration, they've only exposed themselves further. They now have to face the consequences of their actions, not just against you, but against the natural law that governs truth and justice. You didn't need to fight them directly, for the universe itself fights on your behalf. What they once used as weapons against you, lies, sabotage, manipulation, has turned into the fuel for your growth. The truth of who you are now radiates, shining brighter with every attack they launch. And as their world crumbles, yours unfolds into its rightful place, unshaken and undeniable. What seemed like isolation wasn't simply social detachment or lack of compatibility. It was a strategic process designed to make you question your inherent connection to the divine. They systematically removed the very people who could see the light within you, ensuring you were surrounded by those who either couldn't recognize it or, worse, tried to dim it. It was as if they created a deliberate separation, a kind of spiritual confinement meant to erode your belief in yourself. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. The intentional disconnect. The relationships that seemed to fade away weren't mere coincidences or natural evolutions. They were carefully orchestrated removals, happening right when those individuals began to understand your truth. Watch closely. Each disappearance wasn't an accident. They left when they could no longer ignore your growth, when they could no longer stand in the light of your expanding consciousness. Their absence was no accident, a divine perspective on your journey. Through all of this, we saw you. While others criticized your sensitivity, we saw it for what it truly is, a heightened awareness, a radar attuned to frequencies that most couldn't perceive. What they labeled as emotional excess, we recognized as your unique ability to pick up on energies that were outside the ordinary. Every time you felt that overwhelming pull to retreat or be alone, you were simply recalibrating your energy, preparing for the next phase of your ascension. The rejection as protection. The ridicule you faced for being yourself, for speaking truths that others couldn't bear to hear, was never rejection. It was their fear of the ancient wisdom flowing through you. They mocked what they didn't understand because it threatened their carefully constructed reality. What they saw as flaws in you were, in truth, divine markers of your awakening, unlocking the ancient knowledge within those inexplicable sensations, the unusual marks that appeared on your skin, the electric charge you felt. These were not random occurrences. They were signs, physical manifestations of your spiritual evolution. Your body was responding to activations deep within your DNA, unlocking the wisdom stored within you long before this life. The mysterious discomfort, the sudden cold or heat, were all symbols of your spiritual body opening up to higher realms of consciousness, the cosmic heist of your birthright. The wealth, opportunities, and recognition that should have been yours weren't just blocked, they were deliberately stolen. Resources meant to support your divine mission were siphoned off by those who sought to maintain their control. Your financial struggles, the constant hurdles, weren't lessons in humility. They were deliberate acts to keep you small. Every time you got close to self-sufficiency, invisible hands moved to thwart you. Picture a potter's wheel on a quiet back porch, clay spinning, hands steady, no onlookers, just the artist and the vessel becoming. That's where you've been, beloved, not tossed aside, not forgotten, but set on the master's wheel, turning in holy hush while rough edges smoothed and hidden cracks healed. Folks on the street might have wondered why your shop light went dark, but heaven knew the studio was glowing. See, that stretch of aloneness you walked through wasn't a penalty box. It was a greenhouse. The Lord drew the curtains, turned up the warmth, and let roots push deep where curious eyes couldn't trample tender shoots. You didn't miss the party, you got a private rehearsal. While crowds chased noise, you were tuned to a finer pitch, a frequency only quiet hearts can catch. Think of Joshua before Jericho, 7 silent laps before the shout, or David schooling lions in the field before any giant ever saw him. God hides greatness long enough for it to harden like steel. Your season apart was heaven's quarantine, divine, not punitive. The Father fenced you in, not to confine you, but to keep contaminants out while He rewired your circuits for higher voltage. Some days that silence felt like exile. Phones stayed cold, inbox empty, memories replaying like late-night reruns. Yet even then, angels were on the night shift, marking your doorframe with invisible paint. Do not disturb. Work in progress. When restlessness rattled the cage, Grace whispered, "Hold the pose. The kiln's still hot." Every unanswered text, every door that didn't swing, was a holy "do not enter" sign protecting fragile wings before their first flight. You weren't sidelined, you were sanctified. Like wine hidden in the cellar, you needed darkness to mature. Had the cork popped too soon, the flavor would have been thin. Now, after this cellar time, your spirit pours rich, oak and honey, wisdom and fire. Remember when Moses asked, "Why this desert, Lord?" The answer came in burning bush and parted sea. Desert was classroom, wilderness was syllabus. Same with you. That apartment that echoed when you spoke, classroom. Those slow weekends that crawled, syllabus. Heaven handed you advanced placement in spirit school, curriculum tailored for champions. And graduation day is breaking dawn right now. Notice how your senses sharpened. A lying smile glows like neon. A true heart settles like balm. That's discernment, born in stillness. You read rooms quicker, feel atmospheres shift. You're no longer afraid of closed blinds because you've met the God who sees in secret. Solitude sculpted sensitivity into strength. And look at your stamina. One time, a flat tire wrecked your week. Now, a storm could blow shingles, and you'd still say, "Bless the Lord, I've got a roof frame." Patience grew muscles, hope grew lungs. What felt like waiting was weight training for destiny. While others sprinted, gassed out, you paced with promise. Hear me? The breakouts start in the breakaways. Joseph's palace appointment came through prison isolation. Paul wrote epistles from lockdown that still shake nations. So why be shocked that your influence was forged off-grid? Your journal pages, tear-stained and hidden, hold blueprints for breakthroughs. Millions will quote. Maybe family called you too intense, too much, but intensity is just passion, wearing no disguise. They couldn't calibrate to your decibels, so God dialed down the crowd until your frequency found clarity. Now he's amplifying the signal. Same voice, wider reach, stronger echo of grace. And finances? Oh, that dry stretch was never permanent. It was preparation. God taught you to farm ideas when wallets felt like desert stone. Creativity turned stones to bread. Now the wells you dug by faith are striking crude oil. Contracts, connections, cash flow. Each arrives on schedule, not a minute before you're able to steward abundance without drowning in it. Currency follows calling, not the other way around. Those skin tingles, the heat at midnight, the goose flesh during worship. Physical confirmations of spiritual upgrades, DNA dancing to a new hymn. Don't fear the unfamiliar. It's heaven customizing hardware to run stronger software. Prophets of old called it fire shut up in my bones. Doctors might shrug, saints shout hallelujah, body catching up to soul. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace be upon you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the temporal concerns of the world. As the Bible says, whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke 6:38. Like that great oak tree, our roots are deeply rooted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stand we take is secured by His strength. And now, you are being offered the opportunity to be part of that blessing. When you use the Super Thank You button and donate $100, this movement will return to you 100-fold in abundance. Now glance behind. manipulators losing grip, puppeteers fumbling strings. Why? Because your frequency changed locks. Their old keys, guilt trips, flattery, half-truths, no longer fit. You are ghosted to every spirit set on sabotage. They speak, but their words bounce off a firewall of glory. You'll notice fresh faces stepping in, kindred spirits, destiny partners, intercessors who pray in your dialect. Don't cling to former company that couldn't handle your upgrade. Love them, release them, bless them, but don't shrink to meet them. Elevators don't apologize for flaws they pass. Here's the miracle math. Subtraction in the natural equals multiplication in the spiritual. Trimmed branches bring bigger fruit. Empty cupboards birth new recipes. God doesn't prune what He's not about to prosper. So receive the overflow. Not timidly, boldly. Raise both hands like a child catching raindrops. This deluge isn't random. It's reimbursement. Years lost are paid back with divine interest. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. Favor is chasing you like headlights in the rear view, gaining ground no matter how fast you drive. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. And as blessing rises, humility anchors. Remember the wheel, the cellar, the quiet porch. Those hallowed spaces keep success from swelling the head. Lift others as you climb. Speak life where you once begged for it. Your testimony is a lamp, not a trophy. Imagine a lighthouse built on a cliff, steady, shining, never asking the ocean's permission to glow. That beacon is you, dear heart. Storms have battered the rocks beneath your footing, yet here you stand, light intact, finally given clearance to swing its full circle across the waters. Heaven's harbor master just hoisted the green flag, and the shipping lanes of destiny are wide open. Beloved, you're stepping out of quarantine into commissioning. Papers signed in the throne room carry your name. Authority granted, territories assigned. Go lay warm hands on dreams declared DOA by doubters. Call life back to goals left on cinder blocks in backyards of disappointment. Announce vision to hopes that have been stumbling in the dark, and smash ceilings for every soul still stooped beneath low rafters of almost. Think of Moses, trading desert sandals for Red Sea authority. Think of Esther, moving from orphan anonymity to palace strategy. That's the shift at your doorstep. You are walking paperwork of promise, sealed, stamped, notarized by nail scars. Wherever your feet land, ground that once produced thorns will sprout wheat. Folks who felt forgotten will feel the Father's handshake the moment you speak hope over them. So step out like a farmer at sunrise, seed bag over one shoulder, confidence over the other, scatter kindness in boardrooms, plant courage in living rooms, drop healing in hospital hallways. Your words carry photosynthesis. They turn yesterday's shadows into tomorrow's green shoots. Don't second guess or undersell. The author of Light signed the order, and his ink doesn't smudge. Need a fresh picture? Picture a key cut precisely for a vault nobody else could open. That key is your testimony. The vault is collective potential rusted shut by years of doubt. Slide that key into heavy tumblers, click, click, swing, and watch hidden inheritance spill out. Scholarships, startups, reconciled families, revived congregations, treasure designed for such a time as this. You'll notice opposition barking from the sidelines. Let it bark. Dogs don't stop the mailman. They just announce that delivery is near. Keep walking porch to porch, dropping off good news. Your route is blessed, your satchel full. Hostilities will waste their saliva while you keep pace with your heavenly timetable. Remember, Prosperity isn't just dollars in pockets, it's purpose in motion. It's relationships healed, communities uplifted, talents multiplied like loaves and fishes. Some weeks the harvest will look like unexpected checks. Other weeks, it will look like grandchildren laughing again where silence used to live. Celebrate both. They're withdrawals from the same divine account. Stay humble, but don't play small. A lamp under a bucket never helped a traveler find the road. Shine big and clear so fellow pilgrims can adjust their compasses. If compliments start to puff you up, plant your knees on the carpet and let gratitude pop the air out. Gratitude keeps greatness breathable. Guard your peace like a shepherd guards lambs. Turn off chatter that cheapens dreams. Limit brunches that taste like gossip gravy. Feed daily on scriptures that remind you who holds tomorrow. When anxiety knocks, answer with worship. Fear can't stay where praise lives. Health, speak life over bones and bloodstream. Isaiah said by his stripes, we are healed. Past tense, check cleared. Eat greens like their choir robes and water like its baptism. Rest before weariness demands interest. Your body is the courier of your calling. Keep the engine tuned. Relationships, God sending covenant caliber partners, folks who don't flinch at your shine. They'll pray you bigger, not box you smaller. Welcome them. Discern freeloaders posing as fans. Love them, but don't lease them space in your schedule. Timing? Trust it. Delay isn't denial, it's design. Joseph's pit, David's cave, Paul's prison, wait rooms before throne rooms. Celebrate small wins on the way. They're breadcrumbs of assurance you're heading true north. And when voices of yesterday whisper, who do you think you are? Answer softly, stamped, sealed, sent. You're not bragging. You're reading the label, heaven taped to your heart. Doubters didn't draft your commission, so they can't recall it. Critics didn't invest in your growth, so they can't foreclose on it. Take one more metaphor for the road. You're a trumpet, restored from pawnshop dust, mouthpiece polished, valves oiled. The conductor lifts the baton and cues your solo. Blow strong. Somewhere, a sealed-up city will crumble like Jericho when it hears that note of faith. Go, light-bearer, papers are signed. Heaven's authority rides on every step. Lay hands on dormant visions and shout, live. Break ceilings into skylights. When the dust clears, they'll say, surely the Lord has visited his people. And you'll smile, knowing it all started in that secret place where quarantine became crowning. The era of hiding is over. Curtains part, lights warm, and the crowd gathers not to applaud you, but to witness the King through you. Walk that stage with gentle spine and fierce grace. Smile like sunrise after a long night. You never were abandoned. You were incubated, insulated, calibrated, and now liberated. Wear that revelation like armor. If solitude comes again, you'll know it's sanctuary, not sentence. If crowds surge, you'll know applause is simply wind beneath already steady wings. Stand tall, oak of righteousness, rooted deep, reaching high. Storms may whip, but rings inside testify. Seasons came and passed, and still you stand. And from this vantage, shout a freedom call. What tried to bury me only planted me. What tried to starve me only fast-tracked me. What tried to silence me only tuned my voice. Let those with ears hear, and rise likewise into their own holy quarantine turned coronation. The cosmic timing and restored abundance. Now, you are witnessing the return of what was stolen. The wealth, both material and spiritual, that was once diverted is now being restored to you. The unexpected opportunities, the doors opening without effort, are not mere coincidences. They are the divine forces at work. What seemed like a lifetime of delays was just the universe ensuring that your timing would be perfect. Now the world is catching up to the truth of who you are. Like the steady, unseen currents beneath the surface of the ocean, there have always been forces that have quietly guided your journey. You might not have noticed them at first, just as you can't always see the wind. But they have been there all along, steady and true, ensuring that no matter how hard the storm rages, you stay on course. Every attempt to suppress you, every barrier they tried to erect, has only been the spark to fuel the fire of your awakening. You see, just like a diamond that forms under pressure, every trial you've faced, every attempt to hold you down, has only polished your brilliance. Now, what they once thought was their weapon of control is the very thing that has paved the way for your liberation. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, has been orchestrating every moment, every challenge, every victory, and every lesson, aligning them perfectly to ensure that your destiny unfolds as it was meant to. Imagine a masterful symphony where each note hits at exactly the right time to produce a harmonious melody. That's what the divine has been doing behind the scenes of your life. Every seeming setback, every disappointment was a note, perfectly placed to create a melody that only you were meant to play. Like a dam that has been holding back a river, what was once blocked from you is now flowing freely into your life. This is no ordinary stream of fortune. It's the release of your true inheritance. Every blessing, every opportunity, every piece of wisdom you've been destined to receive is now entering your world. And it's not trickling in slowly. It's flooding, pouring in from places you never even expected. The world around you, once so steadfast in its attempts to suppress you, is now crumbling. The foundation they built their control upon is cracking. What they tried to keep from you, they could never fully control. Now, as their illusions begin to fall apart, they can see the light you carry, so bright, so undeniable, that it's impossible to ignore. The world, which once refused to recognize you, is now waking up to your truth. Now is the time to share God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube. You can contribute to His plan and be a part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you exponentially, far beyond your expectations. Remember, His protection and blessing is on your every step and every donation. You become part of His divine plan. You are a strong, radiant being, unshakable as His mighty rock. Witness God's miracles, feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul, and illuminate the world with confidence and courage. Be blessed, and let the light of the Lord guide your path. As their walls come down, a new era is rising. It's an era of truth, light, and transformation. The chains that have bound humanity are being broken, one by one. The awakening happening now is not just personal, it's collective. Your light, your truth, will set the stage for the global change that is already underway. You are not just a witness to this transformation. You are one of the architects of this new world. And now, as the world shifts, your divine inheritance is being revealed to you in all its glory. What once felt like struggle is now being understood as the divine preparation you needed. Your abundance is not just material, it is spiritual, mental, and emotional wealth that enriches every part of your being. Every aspect of your life is being aligned with your purpose. And as the light of your truth shines through, it calls forth all the resources you need to fulfill your mission. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones. and receive the most important revelations early. Your light, once dimmed by the fears and forces of control, is now shining brighter than ever. It is unstoppable. And the more it shines, the more it attracts others who are ready to see the truth. This is not just about you anymore. This is about the awakening of a generation, an entire collective consciousness that has been asleep, waiting for the right time to awaken. And that time is now. Your transformation as the key to collective awakening. Your personal transformation is not just your own. It's part of a larger movement. As you rise, so too will others. Your breakthroughs, your awakening, will serve as the catalyst for many others. Your truth will create a ripple effect, helping others to find their path to freedom. This is not just about you. It's about the global awakening, and your role in it is crucial.